Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are probably known as the greatest shooters of all time. Steph has made over 3,697 three-pointers and counting, which is 42.5% from the three, and Klay Thompson has made over 2,436 three-pointers, which equates to 41.3% from the three. And this is in their entire career, which is actually pretty amazing to shoot that percentage, by the way. So how do you become a great shooter? It's honestly simple. It's all about repetitions. Steph and Klay probably have shot over thousands of jump shots, which is why they're so great at what they do. So here's how you could do it. We're going to be using Klay's form, by the way, because he's probably has one of the most fundamental forms ever. Even Steph says it.
His is more repeatable for the average person. And what I mean by that, it's more kind of uniform from the ground up. So for all the hoop heads, you know, like you get your balance from your feet and your power from, you know, the base, and you work your way up from there. Like you can't really get consistency and repeatability by trying to throw it and sling it with your hands and your arms and your wrists. So he has like the most stacked kind of form, like everything's in line, all of his angles are right. And like if I was gonna take somebody who's never shot a ball before and put a ball in your hand, I would put you in Klay Thompson's positions.
And by the way, you can shoot however you want to, just understand that this is just a way to start off if you don't know how to shoot a basketball. Players I also watch are Steve Nash, Steve Kerr, JJ Reddick, and Devin Booker. And there's a lot more, but that's just a start. So let's go over this acronym. It's called B.E.E.F. Balance, elbows, eyes, and follow through. So let's start with balance. When Klay shoots the ball, he's always on balance. To put this in a really simple way, it's going to be harder for you to generate power and hit your shots if you're not balanced. So you could start by either having 2 feet shoulder width apart or one above each other. And you could tilt your body a little bit, so it's up to you what you decide. For Klay, let me play this clip because he talks about his base.
You almost have to use every muscle in your body, and it starts with your toes and your foot placement. I was once told by a coach growing up, and I love using this analogy for it. Imagine a reverse waterfall, starting with your toes all the way to the end of your release, one fluid motion, just like this. You don't want any hitches, you just want one fluid motion. So you want good knee bend, one foot in front of the other depending on what hand you are. And I'm right-handed, so I like my right foot a little in front of my left. Good knee bend. L in the shooting arm. Ball not in your palms, but on about your fingertips and like the base of your fingers. That's where you want the ball. And you want to be able to see air through there, because you don't want to shoot like this. You want to be like this. So one fluid motion, guys, like a reverse waterfall. Here we go. There you go.
For me, I'm pretty similar. I just tilt my body a tad bit more than he does. There's a reason why I do this, and I'll explain it in a bit. So next, it's elbow. You want to have your shooting elbow tucked in at a 90-degree angle, so all you have to do is push the ball up. Also, to add to this, if you don't know if you're 90 degrees or not, you could do this. So basically, stick the basketball in the L pocket. If the basketball fits, that means it's a 90-degree angle. Before you move on to the next letter of B.E.E.F, let's talk about the wrist, because it's really important when shooting, but many people don't really talk about it. So I call it a loaded wrist. Basically what it is, imagine you're a waiter, and you have a bunch of things on your tray, and it's the way you're holding the tray with your wrist. It's loaded to balance the tray. It's the same thing with the basketball. Basically load your wrist and put the basketball on top when you're creating a 90-degree angle. Most players don't load their wrist, and it affects their jump shot. It's better to have a loaded wrist because it generates power and you have more control in your jump shot. When you place the ball on your wrist, make sure the ball's on your fingertips. Some NBA players don't do this, like Damian Lillard, but if you use your fingertips, you have a lot of control when shooting. Anyways, moving on to the next letter of B, it's eyes. So basically the way I break it down is, what the heck do you aim for? I just aim for the back of the rim. Some players like Steph aim for the loops where the net meets the rim, so it's your pick. Lastly, follow through. It's pretty simple. When you shoot the ball, you bend your legs, go through your B.E.E.F checklist, and then you make sure everything is all one fluid motion, because you don't want to lose power when you shoot. When you release the ball, leave your hand up, reach like you're reaching in a cookie jar on a really high shelf. Make sure that you get that form down first before you start shooting insanely fast, and that comes with repetition. Also understand that you want to have this mentality that every shot is going to go in, and it helps that if you visualize your shot going in. It helps with your mechanics and your jumper. The person who said that was Kobe. It's okay to be mad if you miss, but missing happens to everyone. So get mad, but don't let it affect your entire game or even your day. Remember, you're here to get better.